Hey dude, what kind of music do you make?
Imagine this. You used to love listening to music that broke the mold. Blending genres, different song structures, different subject matter, stuff like prog rock. But then you went to music school and became a serious musician and disowned all the music that you once loved because it wasn't sophisticated enough. Now you write music that follows the rules because you're terrified that the genre police might burst in at any second and ruin your career. And you're not happy. But once you're out of music school, you slowly realize that there's no such thing as the genre police.
Except for maybe on the internet. Nobody cares whether your music follows the rules or not. Now you think you've figured it out and your values and your music are in alignment. Except there's one major problem. How do you describe your music to people? Hey dude, what kind of music do you make? I make experimental pop music.
Oh, do you mean noise art?
Hey dude, what kind of music do you make? I make weird pop music.
Oh, you mean like songs about moldy bread or Weird Al?
Hey dude, what kind of music do you make?
My music is indescribable.
Oh, okay. No one has a clue what the heck you're talking about, and they're probably not curious to find out either. So now you're super confused because you finally started to make music that you like, but it came at the cost of community. So you go back and listen to some of the music that you liked as a teenager, the music that you disowned once you got to music school, like prog, hoping to feel warm and fuzzy and at home for once. Something strange happens though. You like it. Actually, you love it. But now that you think about it though, it kind of makes sense and so many doors are opening in your mind in terms of the possibilities for your own music now that the word prog is in play. But wait, is prog pop even a thing? Don't feel bad if you don't know what prog pop is because people don't really use that word that much anyway. But when they do use it, they usually cite albums like Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys or Sgt. Pepper by the Beatles, and that's pretty much the end of the list. So there isn't really a big sample size for us to be able to definitively define what prog pop even is. But there is a lot of prog pop and a lot of prog metal, and we can use that as a starting point. So imagine you're starting with a basic rock song. Instead of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you can sing about sci-fi, fantasy, even moldy bread. Instead of 3-chord chord progressions, use all types of chords and all types of combinations. You take familiar song structures and elaborate upon them, making them longer and less predictable while retaining some of that familiarity. Instead of only using 4/4, you mix and match meters freely. Instead of only using typical rock band instruments, you use all kinds of instruments to create a unique sound world for your song. And you mix and match genres from section to section or even simultaneously. So this is what's great about prog anything. You can take a broad genre like rock or pop and elaborate upon it to your heart's content. Now I know some of you might be saying, "Dude, it doesn't make sense." But we're not combining prog rock and pop. We're taking the progressive spirit and applying it in a pop context. Here's what I mean. When people started jumping on the prog rock bandwagon, like any genre, it became codified and there were kind of these standard practices that were put in place. But once prog rock started to have an identifiable sound, you could argue that the progressive spirit was lost. So we can use parts of prog rock in pop to the extent that they work, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the progressive attitude. Really what we're trying to do is just to explore the boundaries of whatever genre we're operating in this case pop. Basically we're making pop music for those type of people that want to sit down and listen to it and be somewhat challenged or surprised by what they hear. So why am I talking about a genre that arguably doesn't even exist anyway? Good question. I'm talking about it because when it occurred to me that I might be heading in the direction of prog something, it really helped to clarify what my music could be because all of a sudden I had a whole new set of references for tricks and techniques that I could use in a pop context. And to be honest, whether it's a well-defined genre or not, I see a lot of potential there. And I know from talking to a lot of producers and artists on the internet that a lot of them have a similar story and they don't really know how to describe their music either. So my intention with this channel now is to explore the potential of prog pop. And so I call on all the genreless, confused pop artists out there. Whether you listened to prog or not, whether you went to music school or not, come and join me on this epic quest. Imagine this. Hey dude, what kind of music do you make? I make prog pop. Are you seeing anyone?